CCCSA kids, my name is Quiana and today we are going to be celebrating Canada Day by making some red velvet white chocolate cookies. So let's get started.
Here are the ingredients that you will need. You will need all-purpose flour, cocoa powder, cornstarch but I don't have any, baking powder, salt, salted butter, softened, sugar, white distilled pure vinegar, a large egg, vanilla extract, red food dye, and white chocolate chips. The materials you will need are a small bowl, a large mixing bowl, electric mixer, or a whisk if you don't have one, measuring cups and measuring spoons, and then the whisks for the beater, muffin trays, and cooking spray.
Okay, so the first step is to whisk in the flour, cocoa powder, cornstarch, baking powder, and salt. First, we're going to measure out 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm just going to be using the half cup measurement and just doing 3 of those because it fits in better. And then make sure to use the back of a butter knife to level it out properly. It's very full. Alright, so that's half a cup, and then I'm going to do this 2 more times. And there's our last half a cup, so this is 1.5 cup of flour. Next, we're going to put in 2.5 tablespoons of cocoa powder. We want to make sure that you don't put too much cocoa powder in because then it won't be more of a red color, it will be kind of brown. Next, we are going to do 1 teaspoon of cornstarch, but actually I don't have any, so we're just going to substitute with flour and hope it works. Flour it off. Okay, next we are going to do 3/4 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm going to do half a teaspoon first, and then I'm going to switch and do a 1/4 teaspoon, because math. 1/4 teaspoon baking powder. There you go. And lastly, we're going to do 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, this looks level off enough. And that's it for our dry ingredients. Make sure that you're using the smaller bowl for the dry ingredients first, and then we're going to whisk this together. Okay, smells like cocoa powder. So, we're going to set that aside, and then we're going to mix together our wet ingredients now. Normally, I wouldn't leave this messy, but save time. Okay, so we have our larger bowl here, and we want to save the larger bowl for the wet ingredients because we're going to mix in the dry ingredients here, and then we're going to need a bigger bowl for that. First, we are going to start off by measuring half a cup of softened butter. In the recipe, it doesn't call for it to be microwaved, but I'm just going to melt it a little bit because I think that's key for it to be really soft at the end for the cookies. Do you want to say hi to the camera?
No.
Okay. Hi! You know what? I feel like this is around half a cup, and I really don't want to squish it in more because I feel like I'm going to bend this. So we're just going to put this in a bowl. We're going to put this in here because we don't want to put this in the microwave, right?
Yes. And did you suddenly just lose your sense of like microwave abilities?
Microwave abilities? Yeah. We are going to microwave this now.
For how long?
Let's say 30 seconds and we'll see how it is. I don't want to melt it until it's too hot. Oh. Okay, so we're going to try 15 seconds at a time. And while that is going, we are going to preheat the oven to 375. Pro tip, my sister taught me this. Write out the recipe first because it's kind of fun. And then you don't need to look at your phone the whole time. Okay, there goes the microwave, but we're just going to preheat this first. 375. Okay, and let's check on our butter. I use this in my other recipe where it is very soft, and the key, according to the person who made the recipe, is to make it melted a little bit. So this should be good enough, to be honest. I don't want the whole thing melted. That smells like buttery popcorn. Oh my gosh. What? We're gonna add in the 1 cup of granulated sugar. So where's our sugar?
What's the difference between granulated sugar and powdered sugar?
Sorry, say that again. If you guys didn't know, the difference between granulated and powdered sugar, granulated is kind of like very... They're like little grains, okay? And they're like, if you feel them, it's quite harsher than powdered sugar, which feels kind of like soft flour, but in sugar form. The more you know. Okay, I'm gonna measure 1 cup of this. Quite a bit of sugar. Okay, that's about a cup. I don't want to do too much. So we're gonna add this in. And then we are going to add in 1 teaspoon of distilled white vinegar. Here's the thing, we don't have distilled white vinegar, and I kind of searched it up. I think it's just less strong because we have pure white vinegar. So I'm gonna use half the amount. Instead of 1 teaspoon, I'm gonna use half a teaspoon of the pure vinegar and hope that works. I don't know why we're using vinegar, but then my sister told me to search it up because that's what the internet is for. And I'm guessing it's to make it fluffy. Half a teaspoon over here. So we're gonna do that and then add a bit of water. I would use that. We got water. A little bit more. There we go. Now that we have the butter, sugar, and then the bit of white vinegar, we are going to beat it together. I'm going to beat this for about 3 to 4 minutes until it's pale and fluffy. Okay, we're gonna mix in the egg, the vanilla, and the food coloring, and then blend together. 1 large egg. It's not really large, but we'll see what happens. Look at that. Satisfying craft. Next, we are going to do 1½ teaspoon of the vanilla extract. I'm just gonna do 3 of half teaspoons to get there. 2 and 3. Well, this is gonna take extra vanilla. We are going to put in the same amount of red food coloring. We're gonna start with half teaspoon first. 1½ teaspoons is quite a lot. We're gonna make sure to beat it on low. Okay, it's definitely got a nice pink to it, and I don't mind this color, but we are doing it for Canada Day, so I think we should add a bit more red. Here's another half a teaspoon. So now we're at 1 teaspoon. Yeah, it still looks very pink. I'm gonna add more. I'm gonna trust that 1½ teaspoons is good enough. If it isn't, after we add the dry ingredients, we'll just add more later. I'm actually just going to use my spatula and kind of get all the little side stuff in. We're going to add in the dry ingredients now. I'm just going to split this in about half, and then let's fold this in. Okay, the pink is definitely getting darker. And let's add the rest of it in. Make sure you wash your hands before this. I know I said fold, but
She doesn't know how to.
I'm going to be back from the sink. Okay, this is definitely not a red. I feel like it's a dark pink, but we'll just work with it. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is measure out 3/4 cups of the white chocolate chips. We are going to split it in half and then mix half of it in, and then we're gonna leave the rest to add on after. 1/4 cup and then around half a 1/4 cup, so that's half of what we need. And then fold that in. Here's what we're gonna do. I am going to take a ice cream scooper so that they're all around the same size, and then scoop them in here. First, actually, I'm going to spray these so that they don't stick in. We actually ran out of parchment paper, so my sister Sharina decided to do it this way last time, and it's kind of smart. It's approximately 18 servings, as this is actually 18 holes for them to be in. These muffin tins come in handy. Here are all of our servings of cookies. It was somehow exactly 18, to be honest. That was a bit surprising. But now we're just going to grab these white chocolates and then press them on to the ones that don't maybe have as many. I don't know if this makes a difference, but this is what the recipe calls for. Maybe like 4 or 5 each. We're just gonna place them in for 9 to 11 minutes. Make sure not to over bake or else it won't be as soft as you want it. Make sure you have your gloves on because you don't want to burn yourself.
Even though our gloves are broken.
Okay, there we go. I just hope they come out red and white. Okay, and then we're gonna set the timer for 9 minutes. After 9 minutes go off, I'm just going to turn off the heat and then let it sit there for 2 more minutes, so it's 11 minutes total. See you then. Okay, so 9 minutes ended. We're gonna turn it off, and then I'm also gonna turn the heat off. This is my trick. When it says 9 to 11 minutes, I don't know when to stop. So I stop at 9 minutes and then turn the heat off. I'm gonna let all the heat come out for a little bit, and then I'm gonna set a timer for 2 minutes. And I will be back once we take them out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, look at that. Okay, yeah. Here are beautiful cookies. We're just gonna leave them here. Make sure to set them for about 30 minutes so that they can cool down. And then after that, we can eat one and enjoy, and then put the rest in the fridge for later. Or leave it out. Why would you put it in the fridge? I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, bye. So it's been 30 minutes. These are still a bit hot, but hopefully they're not sticking to the pan. And I'm gonna transfer them over to our cookie jar. So this is how they turned out, and I'm gonna try one now. It's good. You can't taste the vinegar, so that's fine. It's not as red as I hoped it would be, but it looks kind of red. Okay, and that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Happy Canada Day, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.